Hello everyone, my name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is December 28th, 2024, and the market is playing out almost exactly as we called it. This doesn't always happen, but sometimes it does. So let's pat ourselves on the back. Bitcoin is likely going up in our final bit in the final part of our B wave correction, and we're expecting Bitcoin to go anywhere between $100 and $102,000, right, back up at this resistance, the resistance of this rising channel, this rising wedge, before turning around. Now, if you saw yesterday's episode, you understand that go ahead, feel free, take advantage of that positive price action. Many people are scared right now because of what we've experienced and because there's no understanding of how we could just chop up and down and up and down. It doesn't make any sense for a lot of people without the wider technical context of this price action. It's just too risky. So I don't think too many people are going to get involved here, at least purposefully. But if you can kind of read this price action, you know that you're likely to get an impulsive wave up, and you can already see it in some of the altcoins. And once we get back to this resistance, back to 100 and 102K, then we're likely going back down quite in that big move that we've been talking about on this channel for a while. So this is important. This is probably just going to happen over the weekend, that we're going to experience the positive price action, and you can already see it in the rest of the cryptocurrency market. If you look at the watch lists, you can see that, there's quite a bit of green, right? And a lot of people are going to think this is alt season. This is the start of it, right? This is where we're going to, create major gains. But again, don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled. If you're going to scalp this positive price action, go ahead and scalp it. I'm going to show an example, the same example I gave in the post on the community tab, on the YouTube community tab. This is sand. And this, I like this as an example, one, because it's one of my trades. I'm trading this up. Okay, so basically what I'm looking to do this weekend while there's positive price action is I'm trading this leg of this zigzag, A, B, C. Again, this is quite simple and straightforward, and this is one of the cleanest charts I've seen personally of this particular pattern. Remember that the ABC zigzag is a type, one of two corrective types in Elliott wave theory. There's a flat corrections, right, that are more like this, and then there's zigzags that are kind of like the flat corrections stretched out. Okay, and what's important about the flat correction is that, or the zigzag rather, is that this B wave comes to between the 0.5 and the 0.618 of the A wave. So as you can see here, this is exactly where you're getting the bottoming of the B wave. So this is the B wave, right? It's a compound flat correction, and it's hitting right between the 0.5 and the 0.618 of the A wave, right? So once we get that finished, and it looks like that B wave is finished, and then we get a bunch of basing, and this is also what confuses a lot of people without any technical context, right? Let's say people are trading blindly, they don't have a good foundation in their technical analysis. This is just a bunch of chop, and it's scary. One day in 15 hours, you're just side to side chopping. It doesn't make any sense what you're doing. It looks like you're putting in a head and shoulders bearish reversal pattern. But those of us who know better understand that this is the end of the B wave and the base that happens before that C wave. Now, why do I have that C wave going up? And I understand that I typically don't talk about specific altcoins on this channel, but I'm going to talk about this one, not because sand is important or special. It's because this is an example, and maybe a lot of you may want to trade this. this is a great example of how to trade this upcoming price action this weekend. Okay, Bitcoin obviously going to 100, 102K, but the most gains are not going to be in Bitcoin, as we can see with the Bitcoin dominance going down, right, to here or even a bit lower. Altcoins are gaining against Bitcoin, i.e., if Bitcoin goes up 6-7%, which we expect from where it's at to 100, 102K, some altcoins like Sand can do a lot more. As you can see, the projection is about 30%. So that's a nice that's a nice impulse. And how do we have that as a target? There's two things we're doing, and it's quite simple, very straightforward, and a high probability trade. The first thing we're doing is this. We're recognizing that this is very likely a zigzag, okay? That's the first thing. You have to recognize what you're in. You have that impulse, right? That corrective impulse in the A wave. You have the subsequent flat correction, very even, Steven, flat correction that comes between the 0.5 and the 618 of the A wave. Then you have the subsequent basing. You get in on the subsequent basing and you go long. Now, where are your targets to the upside? Quite simply, when you project a C wave given a completed A wave and a B wave in an ABC zigzag, you take the length of the A wave, retracement of the B wave, and then you project a minimum of the 1 Fibonacci extension to a maximum of the 1, 2, 3, 6 extension. So we expect, in this example, that Sand come to anywhere between 74 and 80 cents, okay, on this chart. That makes a lot of sense. The second reason it makes a lot of sense is that if you zoom out just a bit, let's go on the 4-hourly time frame, you can see that this asset has put in a distribution. And that distribution looks like a quintessential head and shoulders bearish reversal pattern, right? The asset tried to make a higher high. It failed. It tried again. It failed. And then it tried a third time and it failed. And the second try was always the one with the most liquidity. Okay? That happens for a few reasons and I'm not going to get into, but it always ends up looking like that, the three mountains with the middle mountain being the highest. Okay. This you can expect with a high degree of probability because this range that you've been in for the past 30 days or so, let's see, 24 days, let's say 24 days, you broke right here. And what do we know about ranges? Well, ranges are such that you don't leave the confines of the range without having tested or retested the midline of the range. So you broke the confine of the range, you came back, it would only make sense to retest that midline before leaving that range. And that is your completed distribution pattern in Sand. So basically, this makes sense that we have a projected C wave to 74 to 80 cents. And once we get up here, let's zoom out a little more, we can see that the next target down is much further down. Okay, so you're basically correcting on this. In a sense, you can correct down here, you can correct all the way down here. It really depends. That's, kind of up for debate. We're not going to get into that, but essentially the idea is you're looking to make a significant drawdown after having put that move in. So if you do get into longs this weekend and enjoy the positive price action, don't be amateurish. Don't be like a lot of people who will see a little green in their watch lists and some green candles form on their charts and think that we're good, we're fine, let's go, it's full tilt bull mode. No, this is the last pump before the massive dump that we've been talking about on this channel for the past month. So I hope this example helps you kind of see how you would trade to a high, how you would make a safe, high probability trade in an altcoin and still prepare for the big drawdown, because that's really the key. And the other thing you should do, obviously, is monitor Bitcoin, because once Bitcoin hits that target, right, that minimum target of 100 to 102, you want to be very careful. You don't want to be exposed long in the market. You don't want to be holding bags, because this is the last retest, as it were, of this rising channel that we've been in for 30 plus days. And once you retest it and you're all the way done, then you can start your move down. Anything and everything in the cryptocurrency market is going to experience some downside momentum. It's a question of how much, but you don't want to be exposed long holding bags once that happens. So that's the quick update. Hope this was helpful. Hope this was useful. Like, share, and subscribe if you got value. Consider buying me a coffee either via Venmo or Cash App, or by sending me Litecoin, all at the pinned comment below. And do consider my crypto portfolio service, crypto portfolio consultation service. It's a new service that I'm offering in preparation for the bull market of Q1. I think mid-January, thereabouts, we start getting major moves to the upside. And it's essentially, I'm helping you balance your portfolio for up to 5 assets, helping you find good strategic entries and exits, right? Buying and selling points per month. And that's 1 to 2 hours with me on a monthly basis. And that's a service that you can find at my Buy Me a Coffee website, also in the pinned comment below. Guys, that's it for me. Take care. Have a great weekend. Bye.